Angela is kind of a woke warrior.
She's dark woke.
She's dark woke. 100%. Because it's like every now and then she kills somebody for something. I'm like, Angela, that was overreacting. And then every now and then she'll just be like, and you're a dirty bigot. And I'm like, you know what? T.
What is your podcast about? Hanging out with your smartest and funniest friend. You know me. I'll kill anybody, but I'll only sleep with someone I love. Maybe she's a slut, just like her mother.
Hey cuties, and welcome back to Horror Icon, your queer playground for all things scary, sexy, and stupid. You know me, I'm CryBaby, the spooky slut from your wettest nightmare.
And I, by popular demand, am still trans and still Bowie Caius.
Damn fucking right. By popular demand.
Unless you're on Instagram. Everyone else, popular demand. But Instagram, that's all right.
That saga's still going?
Just in the fact that I get like PTSD when I open it now.
Fair.
It went from avoiding it for my mental health to now like, it is my Angela Baker.
Yeah, okay.
I fear. I open it and it goes, say no to drugs. You know, that's the vibe absolutely. It gives me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh.
Well, Bowie, might I say, you're looking very sun-kissed today.
Me and the sun went to third base.
Yeah. I can tell.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was trying to recapture the joy and the homoeroticism of the first one, the baseball game.
Yes, I'm very much getting that. Mm-hmm. Very much.
We got exactly one boy crop top in this film, so I did appreciate it for the few moments that we got it.
For those of you who are only listening and not watching, Bowie did their makeup today, looking very sunbuoyant, very very rustic, very much like we're about to tussle in the fields.
Yeah. Because I knew you weren't gonna be in drag, and so I was like, well, I gotta do something. But you are, though. You're in a way.
I threw a quick beat together.
If I just say Arab drag, that will not.
No, we need context for that.
Until we get into. I swear to God, I'm not just. Whatever you're picturing when I say those words, please.
Yes, if you haven't seen this movie yet,
please.
It has a purpose.
Yeah.
I'll just say right now, without the context, very loosely inspired by a character in this movie, a little bit of a naughty girl. And that's that. Just a quick eye. I got called into work again, which is great because money in the pocket, but also time out of the hourglass.
Boo hiss. Oh. Like sands through the hourglass.
Yes. Well, welcome back, Bowie. I'm so happy to have you.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, and welcome back, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this adventure of Sleepaway Camp.
It just keeps going.
This franchise, baby. Part of me is so taken by this experience because it's been a long time since I've marathoned, so to speak, a franchise that I haven't seen before. The only film I had seen in this was Sleepaway Camp, the first one, proper. Sleepaway Camp, proper. And so I feel like each time I go into one of the sequels, I feel a little excitement, a good amount of dread.
Trepidation.
Yes.
Fear.
Very nervous.
Yeah.
But I will have to say, with Sleepaway Camp 3 Teenage Wasteland, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I actually enjoyed the experience of watching this movie.
Which is funny because we had talked about before that this movie was filmed back to back with two. And it felt like a totally different thing. It felt like it was at least a year apart, like filming wise.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like the minute it started, I was like, I had to keep reminding myself. I was like, there was not an actual year between these films.
Yeah.
This was the next day.
Exactly.
It feels totally different.
It's really interesting. And I wonder if part of that is just budgetary constraints. Because I don't think they made the decision to make this movie until after they had already started filming the second one.
Right.
So it was, from what I've read, a very last minute spiel. It does feel like a totally different movie.
Yeah.
Me personally, despite how intensely problematic some
all of
things
it is.
Are,
yeah.
I still have to say, I actually think I liked this one a little bit better than the second one.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. I liked the kills more. Except I will say, girl, you can't have these cunty kills and then go back to just hitting people with logs. It's so played out. I can't do it. Especially, I mean, it is kind of camp how long they take often. Just, it's giving Lizzie Borden 40 whacks. And it's like, you can't do that back to back with like a really cunty, campy kill. Because then it's just like, oh my God, this again.
Yeah. And well, there's also too, there's a lot that I thought was hilarious about this movie. And I think that most of what I found hilarious was not meant to be found hilarious.
Certainly not. Which I think is part of the joy of Sleepaway Camp. I've found that in all of the movies thus far. It has been, I don't know what you thought with that moment, but I enjoyed it probably for an entirely different reason.
Exactly. Now, some content warnings, some heads up.
Is this the first time that we've had to do that? Or did we do that a little bit with the first one?
I don't think we did. Because this one is just so blatantly problematic, I feel the need, because I feel it's almost like, it's not full trauma, but we're definitely going in that direction.
Actually, now that you mention it. Which it feels weirder. If you don't go full trauma, then trauma is trauma. If you don't push it all the way, to say this was the first film so far that I audibly gasped and not for a positive reason.
I started a yikes counter.
Did you?
Every time I reflexively automatically was like, yikes. Just like, they said that.
They sure did that. Multiple times. Sure did.
At least 3. Or like
arguably,
2 or 3.
3 too many.
3 too many. Yeah.
Arguably?
One would say. So yes. What was there's for my friends who are familiar with like 80s horror and stuff like that, like we are no strangers to racial stereotypes.
Terrible statement to have.
I know.
Terrible.
But like, obviously like it's to unfortunately be expected. This film, my goodness, we have a handful of slurs with a hard R in this film, among other just like lines of dialogue that are racist as fuck, as well as depictions of characters that are racist as fuck. So I have to acknowledge that now before we start talking about the movie, because there is a lot of that shit in there, and it is quite jarring if you're not expecting it and watching it for the first time.
I sure wasn't.
Yeah.
And I will say that like, I don't know if it's better or worse because of the way the plot is set up is like, so it's not out of nowhere in the way that we have this weird plot setup that we'll get into, I'm sure.
I mean, we can even talk about it now. It's nothing too spoilery, just like the frame of the camp of like what's going on. Yeah.
My first line that I wrote down was literally a caste system.
Yeah.
Like I was picturing that Brooklyn gif where Beyonce.
Yeah.
But it was me going, a caste system?
Yes. Sweet listeners, this film dabbles in class dynamics.
In a camp setting.
In a camp setting. We have rich kids and we have poor kids.
We have rich kids and we have slur fodder is what we have.
Yes, we do.
But we don't realize that yet.
Not yet, no. But we do know, like, just from first glance, you're like, we're going to be getting some tokens here.
I have to tell you, I wrote down in my notes, when I said I wanted more characters of color, this is not what I meant. I was excited. Don't put them all
in the poor kids group.
It was like, this is exciting. Immediately, seconds later, I went, I think I take it back.
Yeah.
I think I take that back. Yep. There were a few things actually in this movie that I said, well, I know what I said from the second movie, things I would like.
Yeah.
I take them all back.
Yeah. It's funny too, because I was thinking about my trepidations after of talking about the second movie.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, wow, Angela's kind of a prude, and I don't know, like, I was like, there's a lot that I enjoy about this, but like, some of the stuff that she's saying is just like stuff where I'm like, yikes, why would you say that?
Girl, she is Sandra D.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sleepaway Camp 2 is Sunday morning service compared to this one,
bruh.
And I know we're laughing about it. I don't say that lightly. It's shitty. But I will say there are some moments, like brief moments of like a little bit of catharsis where like somebody gets what they deserve. And I'm like, okay, I fuck with that. Obviously, I can do without all of the slurs and shit. So be forewarned, everybody. It's also a very sleazy movie. We thought the last one started from the jump with the nudity.
Yeah. I kept having those little moments of like precognition where I'd be like, oh man, seems like maybe we're not going to get full frontal nudity a lot in this movie. And then seconds later, all the girls walking around the
Literally
cabin.
Seconds.
All the girls, take your shirt. You got to take your, off.
Yes.
Everybody, off.
Literally synchronized titty showing. It was like watching dancers move throughout this space just to broadcast their beacons of
it's
sleaze.
It's truly breasted boobily. She breasted boobily.
She breasted boobily, yes.
God.
And that's all for better or for worse. Ultimately, I did, again, overall enjoy the experience of watching this movie. Do I enjoy this movie?
Nah.
But the experience of watching it, I had a good time. I was also high, so I was a full-on... I was giggling from the jump.
Yeah, probably, honestly, ideal conditions, I
would say so. Yeah, do you have anything else to say before we get into...
I love Pamela. I just think
I think Pamela is
she's
wonderful.
Serving.
Yeah.
She is serving.
In the dirtiest, roughest wig I have ever seen. This is not a spoiler, people. It's on the fucking poster.
Not to make editing harder for you, but please, I beg, if you could. Can you put in a picture of Danny DeVito in the Ongo Goblogian wig from Always Sunny? Because it is the same wig. It's that like triangle.
I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's so good. And it was the first thing I thought of. I was like, who put her in that Party City hard front?
Funny. I thought of the fucking Celicia Bob from America's Next Top Model.
I'll blame Tyra for that,
Yeah,
too.
I'll blame Tyra for that
I'll
wig,
blame
too.
Tyra for Pamela's... Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, indeed. But I also really enjoyed it because it was so bad. Anyway.
They weren't... I mean, they weren't trying to... They were like, oh, I'm sorry, did everyone not love this wig?
Yeah. I think this is just a movie where you have to kick your shoes off and surrender to the fact that everything you're seeing on screen is a choice that somebody made to put on film.
I will say, if you don't experience movies that way, I've started doing that. Movies, any kind of media where you go in and you think, okay, whatever we're about to see was purposefully filmed, directed, acted, and edited. Perhaps most importantly, edited.
Exactly.
And is in here on purpose.
Exactly.
And when you go in with that, it makes it even
so much
better. You're like,
makes it so
wow,
much better.
I really wanted to believe this was a mistake, and it really wasn't.
All right. We're diving on in officially to Sleepaway Camp 3.
I need you to understand.
Teenage Wasteland.
The same way as the second one, I laid it out, quotes, characters. At the top, I always have themes, and there is nothing written.
Yeah, there's no themes.
Because I got to a point where I said, is there a single theme in here? Besides racism?
Besides racism and...
Some purity culture. But even that was like not...
Here's the thing.
Angela was phoning it in.
Angela just wanted to have a good time, and these people
like,
went away.
I thought this would be the one.
Yep. All right.
No, girl.
Well, time for CryBaby's breakdown. Ma, I'm going to camp. You heard me, sweaty. Our campy obsession continues with Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland, and our sassy slasher Angela Baker is back to chop wood and bitches. 1 year after the Camp Rolling Hills massacre, Lily and Herman, two incompetent and deeply inappropriate camp owners, attempt to resurrect the blood-soaked grounds under a rebrand, Camp New Horizons.
Which sounds like a conversion camp.
Girl.
Sorry.
No, you are
kind of out of
absolutely
pocket.
right. No. This Stanford marshmallow experiment of a summer camp promises exploitation of the class divide marketed as an experiment in sharing.
I wrote that down too.
No fucking what? Stanford marshmallow. But while the camp feigns kumbaya class harmony, a third counselor arrives to add some tension. Barney Whitmore.
And boy, does he.
Sean's cop dad whose wife left him for a foot doctor, and he's grilling some hot dogs, and he vows to exact his revenge by killing Angela Baker without due process. But he'll have to find her first because apparently nobody in this world knows what Angela looks like. Between that,
Cop math.
some sunglasses, and a terrible wig.
Why don't you let your parents see your pretty eyes?
Yes. Angela infiltrates the camp and meets our bounty of stock characters, from bigoted rich brats to dated racist stereotypes, each destined to meet their demise at the hands of the angel of death. But the thing is, Angela is simply trying to have a good time at camp, and these pesky cheerleaders, fornicators, and drug takers keep harshing her vibe, leaving her no choice but to murder them in ways that sound better on paper than they look on screen. And still, these trauma-esque meatbags, including the cop, earn their fates until we are left with our final girl Marcia and her boy toy Tony, the exoticized, underprivileged stud from East LA.
Yeah, them using that word so often in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
So you're underprivileged, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Girl. You can't just ask people why they're underprivileged.
So after Angela generously decides to let these two lovebirds live their lives, Marcia exacts her revenge by attacking Angela, stabbing and incapacitating her just long enough to drop the real twist. She's got a boyfriend back home. Sorry, Tony.
Why?
I don't know. We end with Angela in the back of an ambulance, having just killed the two paramedics who are loudly debating whether or not they should just kill her. Hippocratic oath? More like hypocritic oaf. And as the sirens fade into the night, one thing is clear. You can rebrand camp, but you can't rebrand Angela Baker.
You can take the boy out of the girl, but you can't take the girl out of the camp. Boy.
I was going to say boy, but I'm like,
Reaganomics.
Reaganomics, yes. Yes. So
Jesus.
That's essentially Sleepaway Camp 3.
I gotta say, this movie being what it is, I will give it its flowers for the craziest one-liners, perhaps of the whole series thus far.
I would agree.
There's some great ones in the first one, some pretty alright ones in the second one, but oh my god.
This one, it's just like throwing shit left and right. It's fun.
Yeah, from that first scene, you're like, okay.
Yeah. So, Bitch in the Pot. We've already talked about this. This was filmed back-to-back with Sleepaway Camp 2. Oh, we were off camera. We were talking about names.
Yes.
And I mentioned that I had something to share about like how these characters were named.
Yes.
I don't know why they went with this, but most of the characters, with the exception of the reporter and I think the cop, their names were pulled from either the Brady Bunch, West Side Story, or the Munsters.
This is what you get for pre-production being over a weekend. Everybody was high and drunk and going, do y'all like musicals? What do you think?
Yeah. Every
What do you mean?
every character except for Tawny, the reporter.
Which is a name.
Yeah. Which I personally feel is probably like homage to Tawny, what's-her-face, who danced on Whitesnake's car.
Yeah, I was thinking of that.
That girl.
Yeah.
And then Barney Whitmore, the cop.
Yeah.
Everybody else, I confirmed it. I pulled up each show and what their characters were, and I pulled up the cast list, and I was like, damn, yeah. We got 6 of the Bradys, 2 of the Munsters, and then a handful of the West Side Stories.
Although I will fight somebody, the person who made it Marcia and Maria. I will fight them in the street. I told you after, I'm bad with names, so I was locked. I was like, I'm gonna know all the names of these characters, and then I was like, they're doing this.
They got you with Marcia and Maria,
with the Brady sister and the. How do you solve a problem? Another
wrong musical.
Another one. Another Maria. Equally, I think it fits equally as well.
Yeah, and cut to Sleepaway Camp 4, they have an entire group of characters inspired by the nuns from Sound of Music.
Yeah, and then like Sweeney Todd or something. I don't know.
That'd be lit, actually. Yeah. I would. Oh, ooh. If I'm a little giddy about this, I don't know why, but I'm just like, I don't know what the future holds for the next Sleepaway Camp movies, but how fun would it be if Angela is like the cook for a camp?
Oh my god!
And she Sweeney Todd's that shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they could even do a little throwback to Chefry.
Ooh.
You know?
That's
I mean,
what
not
was-
that Angela would do that, but you know
That's
what I'm saying.
what was missing from this film, Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah, we had too much racism, not enough pedophilia.
Don't worry, we have a little bit in there. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
my
Oh, girl.
God.
Okay,
Anyway.
moving along. So, we talked a little bit about the deaths. The script originally contained more elaborate deaths for the characters, but they had to be changed, of course, for budgetary reasons.
Like, just get it with the log again.
Yes.
Yeah.
An example, and I think you'll love this because you just love her fucking one-liners.
I do.
Herman, one of the owners, he was supposed to have a flaming poker shoved into his crotch with Angela proclaiming, "A weenie roast!"
Why did we not? Come on.
I know.
Have I not lost enough in life?
Uh-huh.
You take this away from me?
I know. I'm so devastated that we didn't get that.
A weenie roast.
A weenie roast. And when we get to talking about how he dies and like all that stuff, that would make a lot of
has
sense.
a first name.
It's Herman.
Yeah. Yeah.
This film, it was originally given an X rating by the MPAA due to the gore and violence. And the director said in an interview, "We ran into a problem with the moral police American asswipes on Sleepaway Camp 3. They got a fly up their nose about the Cindy death scene, and also the way Lily, one of the camp counselors, died. Those folks have no sense of humor or adventure." An MPAA representative called Simpson to tell him that the woman who screened the film became physically ill after she watched Lily's lawnmower death scene.
You know what's so funny is that I kept thinking during this movie that it was kind of both like 2 and 1 in that it went back and forth between like you will see the full death and like it's hinted at.
Exactly.
So like you don't see her fully put the lawnmower on her face. You see
It's like
the
a
body
split
after.
second.
Yeah. But you do see Frendo's exploded face.
Yeah. Yes.
So I kept going back and forth, and I was like, "Which are we doing?" So I thought maybe that was also a budget thing. So I was like, we don't have all the money to make another fake head.
Yeah.
But that's so funny to be like the moral police,
The moral asswipes. Yeah.
Damn.
It's so funny because I was thinking the same thing too, because I noticed there was a good small handful of deaths that would like show like a split second and cut away real fast.
Yeah.
And that was one of my main notes of like this film and how it's like edited is that the editing to me feels very weird around the death scenes in a way that's almost kind of like anticlimactic. And I wonder if this is why. If they probably had them edited a different way and then they had to change it up because of the MPAA.
which is crazy because there was literally full on sex in the last one.
Right?
We watched her ride that man for quite a
minutes.
long time.
Yeah.
And so the fact that this one's like, it's too bloody, you
Ooh, bloody.
gotta make it or next.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like,
And it's, you know what's, now that I'm looking at it, the only deaths that the MPAA seemed to have an issue with were the white women.
the racist, especially
racist-
the big racist.
The big
is one of them.
racist, yes.
The big racist TM.
Not surprised, it was the 80s. So this is going to be a little canon update for the Sleepaway Camp. Because you know how at the end
New info?
of Sleepaway Camp 2, what was Molly? Mm-hmm. It was just kind of like a freeze frame. And we're just like, what happened to Molly? Like, did she die? Did Angela kidnap her? Whatever. Well, in this film, Tawny, the reporter, says that there were 19 deaths in Camp New Horizons. Nope, sorry.
Rolling Hills.
Formerly Rolling Hills.
Yes. Formerly,
the artist formerly known as Rolling Hills. There were 18 kills in the movie Sleepaway Camp 2, which confirms that Molly did in fact die
Wow.
in between films.
Because
Yeah.
there's just that like cut. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So those are the facts that I got for this one. Mm-hmm. A lot of them, to me, the facts that I pulled for this one were facts that just made things make sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it made me understand like the things that I was perceiving in this movie. Like, why is this edited so weird?
Yeah, and I always love hearing about like censorship stuff and stuff like that because it really is so. It reminds me of the politics of banned books, of why books get banned, because you would think, oh, it has sex in it, it has violence in it, and then you actually like dig into why books are banned, and you're like, how does this make any sense? They have such weird explanations.
Well,
so of
there's
course
even
movies are the same way, where they're like the titties, the underage titties are fine.
Yeah.
You the sex is fine. The lawnmower thing is a this, how dare you do this?
Yeah. All right. Are you ready for the Rotten Tomatoes?
I'm fucking ready, man.
The lowest so far, 22% tomato meter.
It's been going down steadily.
Been going down. And 30% popcorn meter.
Ooh.
So we're down
I
on
think
both
that might
counts.
also be like the closest the two have been
I think so.
to each other.
Yeah, everybody agrees this movie
Everybody
is
was
shit.
like,
So for the critics' reviews, the bad review, think of the Sleepaway Camp trilogy as a live-action version of the itchy and scratchy cartoons that the Simpsons kids love to watch so much.
kind of genius
Not wrong,
analysis.
yeah. I think so too.
Was that Roger Ebert? Probably.
We'll just say, yeah, this was definitely Ebert.
This thing.
The good review. Sleepaway Camp 3 is a fantastic follow-up to the previous sequel. And even if all the jokes don't necessarily stick the landing in the end, Pamela Springsteen is once again a superstar in this underappreciated sequel. That was the most interesting review that I could find.
There's
not many.
Yeah, it's a weird one because it's like by far not the worst thing I've ever seen.
No.
But it's also not.
It's not great. Like, am I going to watch it again after this? Maybe, like, in a couple of years, I'll get
Yeah.
high and be like, hey, y'all want to see something real trashy?
Yeah, someone was like, man, I really want to watch a summer camp slasher, but I can't do Friday the 13th again.
Yeah.
What do we watch? And I
Yeah.
go, well, what's
Well,
your...
Sleepaway Camp 1, but...
Yeah, like, what's your bar
Yeah.
for quality here?
That's
We
always a
can
good
talk.
question. What is your bar? Are you ready for the audience reviews?
Yes.
I chose these because they contradict each other. Like, I feel like if these two people were in the same room, we would get to watch a debate.
Just like the Bible.
Just like the Bible. Yeah.
Give it to me.
Man, I will never understand why anyone defends this sequel in this series. Don't get me wrong, I love the first one. It's where I get my profile picture, don't you know? But part 2 and this one are so damn lazy and full of disappointment. Plus, Angela is the worst killer in a slasher that I've ever seen. Her one-liners are bad, but they are also delivered with such boredom that I could barely fight the urge to fast forward. I could go more into how this movie angers me, but what's the point? Hard disagree.
Can I give a probably scalding hot take?
Please.
I think I like, if we're talking about slashers, and I'm thinking about like what current slashers or what, I think I like Angela as a slasher more than I like Art the Clown.
Honestly, that's fair.
But like, I feel like I feel like not liking Terrifier is like,
Because Terrifier is so in right now.
I have complicated feelings about it.
Yes.
But if I had to pick one,
me too.
I love that bitch. I don't know.
I love her
There's
too.
far worse
I would
slashers.
agree.
Have you seen the trailers for Scream 7? Hello?
Hello. Have you seen fucking God damn it, I'm talking about this movie again. The fucking undead fisherman from I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. Come on, Angela is not the worst. And actually, I was thinking about it while I was watching this movie.
Yeah.
Specifically towards the end, I was like, God, I love Angela. She's just so fucking fun.
I mean, you just can't think of a comparable. I would say you
No.
can't think of a comparable slasher.
Yeah, because most of the other slashers, like, they're either whodunits or they're like undead zombie people.
Yeah.
You
the,
know?
the only one that I think even comes close and you really don't know it's her until the end is Jason's mom. Because
Yeah.
she's got that very like waspy, like, what's wrong with all you people?
Yeah,
You know,
and she
but
also
you don't-
doesn't show up until the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a friend of the Christies.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I hard disagree. I think Angela, don't disrespect Angela's name like that. No. And I think
Especially
that
for someone who has her as her profile picture.
exactly,
God.
exactly. Now, here's the good review. The good one. Am I the only one who thinks Angela is just an incredibly brilliant villain?
No.
Okay, it's
No.
mediocre, campy fun, but at least it's a fun film. Pamela Springsteen is actually quite incredible in this.
True.
Whether intentional or not, the way she portrays Angela is ingenious.
True.
She's a witty, crazy, murderous legend.
True.
Despite others' opinions, the Sleepaway Camp experience is not complete without this installment.
True.
I would agree.
I agree with all of that.
Yes. I just love, like, as I was picking them, I was like, one is immediately, like, Angela's the worst. And then the next one is just, like, Angela's the best.
Arguably every single fucking slasher movie. You just go on Letterboxd and you just watch the girlies fight. This is the worst slasher film I've ever seen. This is the best slasher film I've ever seen. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
And that, cuties, is what's so great about horror, is there's something for everyone.
And there are some
All the little
things that
freaks
are
out
for
there.
no one.
Yeah. Few and far between, and we can all generally agree on them.
Yeah.
This movie is not one of them.
World peace. United
World
around
peace.
shitty horror films.
Oh, I also wrote down, this was just a short little, 5-star review. Someone was like, please bring the rating up, LOL.
So real.
So real.
So just a quiet
Honestly,
little... Can I...
after I read that, 5 stars.
Literally,
I'm
I
like,
was
you know what? I get you,
Take
Devo.
that up from a 3 to a 5.
Yeah.
Kick that baby up.
Kick that baby out.
Listen, again, after Scream 7 exists now, I think we could bump her up.
Have you seen Scream 7?
No, I refuse.
Me too. Okay, cool.
For all of the reasons.
Yeah, and the thing is, I am not going to make people feel like they are bad people for watching this movie, simply because the state of the world right now is a fucking nightmare. And I know that there's people who really value this franchise and it brings them a lot of joy.
And returning characters.
Exactly.
Are big.
Exactly. Yeah. So I understand why there's still this pull for people to go see it.
Yeah.
I personally am not seeing it. Point one, I'm 100% in support of Melissa Barrera. I think they did her fucking dirty.
Yep.
And I loved her character, especially in Scream 6. She really, I was like, oh fuck, I love this woman.
Yeah. Key example of fucking the narrative and your film for your shitty politics.
Exactly. So all of that bullshit, all of the production bullshit, it's just like,
The AI.
I'm like, I personally do not want to see it.
But no ethical consumption. I know.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
We all have shit that we sit down to consume and go.
That is, whether we know it or not. There's, again, no moral judgment on the people who saw Scream, but I personally, I won't, and I will support people who also make that decision. Let's go over the characters real quick, because we have lot of them.
I'm fucking ready, man.
This time, we're gonna go over them. I'm also just gonna talk about how they die.
Yes.
So we can talk about the deaths and all that stuff real quick before we get into it. So first and foremost, of course, our babe, Angela Baker, is back. We know because it is spray painted on at least 2 surfaces in this movie.
She is hiding in plain sight. And everybody's like, wow, I can't believe she's such a criminal mastermind.
I know. Sunglasses and a wig, baby. So we have Angela back. The first person we see is Maria Milkshake Nicastro. Which
I'll tell you right now, as a starting kill to a film, impeccable.
I hope so. Because when I watched this kill, when I watched this full opening scene, I immediately texted you. And I was like,
oh,
that's when I said, I was just like, I just started Sleepaway Camp 3. It's wild. All I have to say is milkshake.
She got her milk shook.
Yeah,
she got her milk shook.
She got her milk shook. The reason why we say milkshake is because Maria, within 30 seconds, topless, telling her mom to go fuck herself, turning to camera, and we see a tattoo on her chest right above her tits that says milkshake.
Next tattoo?
Friend tattoo?
Let's go.
Tattoo? I'll be the milk and you can be
milkshake. The zoom in was just so her turning to the camera and then
it was perfect.
So good.
It's the exact trash that I want.
Yeah.
And then Angela just finds her and runs her down with a garbage truck and crushes her in the back.
And then we get our great rock opening.
Exactly. I'm gonna say this. I had very high hopes after this opening scene. Yeah. I had very high hopes after this scene.
Yeah.
If I feel like if the whole movie was like that without the overt and casual racism, this would be a banger for me.
Her sitting in the I Love New York shirt with the wig, waiting for the bus to go to camp.
In front of the wall that spray painted Angela is back, and the same orange spray paint that fucking Snowboy is using throughout the film.
Oh, impeccable. So good.
Yeah, so Maria Milkshake Nicastro gets run over by a garbage truck. Oh, and Angela ends up impersonating her.
Yes.
Yes, so they have the same bad wig. Our next character that we meet is the reporter, Tawny Richards.
She was serving something. I don't really know what.
Her face card.
Yeah. It was...
I want to look like that in drag.
It was journalism. Hear me out. I feel like that's a Katya character. Like,
That
I saw
is a
her and I
Katya
was
character.
like, I feel like that's actually Katya.
Yes. And the reason why this also had me cackling. When she tells Angela, she's like, you look kind of old. You look a lot older than these other kids. And then Angela's like, yeah, a lot of drugs. Oh, so drugs, huh? You know where I can get any coke? And I'm like out of pocket like that.
Like you do.
Like you do when you find someone
to a child.
to a child who's like, yeah, I've struggled with drug use. Oh yeah, you know where I can get some coke?
You smell like a crackhead.
That had me on the fucking ground.
That and the she just turns to the camera and starts talking about the horrible violence that happened to give us the background for the last movie.
Yeah.
And then the counselors being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And her being like,
Yeah.
"What? Violence sells. We gotta give him the violence."
Yes.
I was like, "Okay, she's turning it."
This diva.
Yeah.
I loved her.
Tawny.
I think it was like Tawny Richards or something like that. Yeah. And I'm quite fond of the way she dies too. I find it so funny. Because Angela does provide her with the fix that she's asking for, but it's not quite coke.
It could be just straight Comet
Or Ajax
or
one of them.
Ajax or something completely else.
It was a cleaning product. We know that.
Yeah. Her talking to herself, cooking it up.
Yeah.
in a
The
little
thing
supply
about
closet.
doing drugs is you never know if your stuff is pure.
And you know what? That's kind of what you get for walking up to a child at summer camp
Asking.
and asking, "Hey, you know where I just need a little bit.
It's been a shit day.
I can't drive home without mommy's
Oh my
powder."
God. And she just pulls over on the side of the road to casually snort the whole fucking bag that she gets to.
I'm like, "Oh, this addiction has got to be a little out of hand
It's
if
gotta
you
be
can't drive home."
Yeah, if you can't, exactly.
Oof.
So yeah, she ends up getting poisoned that way. Fun fact, that car, apparently, they had to rent it. It was so expensive that the director didn't let anybody touch it. He
Valid.
drove it from point to point.
Valid.
And he went through extra efforts to make sure that no fake blood got on it when that bitch died. Which is why she opens up the car door and just falls out. Just
She goes, "Wait. It's like when you feel like you're going to throw up in an Uber.
exactly.
You're like, I'm out of here.
Yep.
I'm out of here."
You hit the eject button.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's Tawny. I love Tawny. The next people we meet are Herman and Lily. During the interview, they are the camp owners.
I got to tell you, that actor playing Herman is an alien trying to be a human being.
I don't disagree.
I don't know what's happening there.
He
Was like, I was like, "Oh, this will be like a callback to Mel." And it wasn't, because it was like, I don't know what being you are.
to me, I get very leprechaun vibes from him. That man is a leprechaun.
The movie or the species of creature?
The species of creature.
Okay.
Like, that man is a leprechaun. That motherfucker. So Herman, the way he dies, he gets beaten and impaled by a log. By
He
Angela.
really should have gotten weenie roasted.
He should have gotten weenie roasted. And then Lily gets decapitated with a lawnmower.
Yeah.
And I
Pretty
definitely, we're carving out some time to talk about that death scene later.
I literally said out loud to myself, "I love Sinister."
Yeah, exactly. Real ones know. Oh,
I was like,
God.
the trash is funny, but then she got at the lawnmower and I was like, "Oh, this is good."
Yes, this is
good.
glorious. Yep. So Lily gets decapitated with a lawnmower.
You hate to see it.
Cindy Hammersmith is
Hammered.
Baby. She is one of the rich kids. She is the most casually racist character in this film.
I cannot imagine
yeah.
being that actress who, like, you get your lines given to you and you're like reading them that day before and you go,
You want me to say
this is my third line.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
No, her third line is literally no, I think it's her second line in the whole movie is her laughing and just being like, "But he's Mexican."
Oh, I wrote that down.
yeah,
that
that was
Tony
one of my
guy.
yikes. Cindy Hammersmith, she's the racist one. She gets dropped from a flagpole,
Creative.
and yeah, I think it's a fun sequence. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that one.
I thought she was just going to leave her up there like a weird waspy crucifixion.
Yeah, I thought that she was probably gonna drop her because I'm like, God damn, like this shot is taking so long.
Yeah.
of just Angela pulling on the rope with just them yelling back and forth, and I'm like, oh, they're showing us this to like indicate how high she's pulling her, so that when she drops her down, they can justify her being dead.
Right.
So yeah, she gets dropped from a flagpole.
Flagpole dropper.
I love how she's like, why are you doing this to me? And Angela's like, because you're a cheerleader, a fornicator, a drug taker, a nasty bigot. But besides that, you're nice.
The way she says you're nice. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
Uh-huh.
It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like...
I love that the first strike is that she's a cheerleader.
Yeah.
I want to know that story. I want to know, why does Angela specifically
what team did she not
hate
get
cheerleaders?
on?
Yeah.
There was a whole other movie that we didn't see that involved cheerleaders.
I want that movie.
Yeah.
Angela tries out for fucking... What are the Cowboys? The cheerleaders?
The Dallas Cowboy
Cowboy
cheerleaders. Yeah. That's harder than the fucking military, it seems like.
Oh, I bet. Jan Hernandez from Palmview, Arizona. She is very infantilized in like the way she is written and played, like very sweet pea. She gets bludgeoned with a log.
She sure does.
While topless, of course.
An unfortunate, boring kill.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, so the first group of campers that I'm introducing, these are all the rich kids. So Cindy is a rich kid, Jan is a rich kid, Greg Nakashima is a rich kid from Hollywood, California.
Yes.
He's not gay. He's from regular Hollywood, not West Hollywood.
We go.
He gets axed in the chest later on in the movie along with Anita. Peter Doyle, he is from Texas. He's the one that gets his face blown up by the firecracker.
Yikes.
Yikes, indeed. Bobby Stark, our second to final rich kid. He's from somewhere in Illinois. And he gets his arms pulled off.
I mean, I would have loved to see more of that moment.
Me too.
Me too. Yeah, it was pretty good.
And then we have Marcia Holland, who is our final girl. She's from Defiance, Ohio, and she survives. Now, let's move to the bad kids. Our naughty teens. Societally naughty. We have Arab, pronounced Arab.
Pronounced Arab.
Which is from West Side Story. One of the Sharks or the Jets or something.
Sure.
She gets decapitated by Angela. We have Snowboy.
Oh, Snowboy. I love Snowboy.
He's from Chicago.
Chi-Town.
Yeah, burned alive in a tent. We have Anita Burcham.
Yeah.
She gets axed in the chest with Greg Nakashima.
Yeah.
Riff impaled with tent spikes.
Yikes.
Tony De Herrera, our beefcake from East LA.
Tony.
He survives.
Thank God.
I
love Tony.
And then the last two characters we have Barney Whitmore, who is Sean's dad from the last movie, which I do agree. I think that's a very fun insertion.
It's funny how incompetent he is.
Ugh, I know.
He's like, I'm here in hopes that she'll show
kill
up.
her.
Yeah, and then doesn't realize it's her for the whole fucking first chunk of the movie.
He was hoping to Kyle Rittenhouse that shit.
I think that just gave me a heart murmur.
Sorry. Speaking of heart murmurs, our last characters are the paramedics. Iconic scene. Him looking dead, almost dead to the camera, and going, she doesn't deserve to live. Why don't we just kill her? And you can see the other paramedic kind of looking like, is that how you're going to do the line read? Like, the other guy's like, he looks pretty caught off guard. He's like, sorry, I didn't know your game. That's kind of crazy. Go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never underestimate the angel of death. Taking care of business.
Of course, she has to end the movie with just a cheesy ass line.
Has to. She has to have the last word.
Yeah. So that's a quick rundown of all of our characters.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about this naughty movie.
Oh boy.
And I'm going to start just by saying my yikes counter, 14.
Yeah. I couldn't count. It just got to a point where it was just kind of coming over me in waves.
That's fair. There was like a couple of scenes where there was like 3 yikeses that happened within 30 seconds that I consolidated into one. It's the yikes counter is actually probably much higher than 14.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of yikes in this, everybody. Lots of yikes.
Because there are lines where you're, again, and we had this issue with like the second one that really ride the line where you're like, I'm not sure if you're doing this in a weird like satirical way or not, because it would seem like it in one moment, and then the next moment you'd be like, oh, absolutely not. And so, like, for instance, Cindy, the white girl, just dropping the N slur left, right, and center.
So casually.
And then having her, you know, be absolutely destroyed by Angela is like, it's hard to feel like it feels important because Angela's killing everybody. And so they do have her say like, you're a bigot. And it's like, but girl, you would have killed her anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said with the last movie with those two kids who were like taking photos of the girls undressing, where it's like, one of these isn't quite like the other. But I will say in this movie, there's just a lot of deplorable action beyond the bigotry. And, you know, it's a broad spectrum of indecencies that Angela is punishing these people for.
Yeah, and meanwhile, last movie, we got a big fat slur counter of what? 1? Maybe 2?
Oh, the friends and gay guy over there one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was once that
Yeah.
they just randomly were like, oh, this is the 80s, we got to put that in.
Yeah, honestly.
So this one, I was kind of expecting that one from
Which we got.
one of the boys, but then
We got it from Arab.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
But we
yeah.
got just friend and gay. We didn't get the guy
friend
over there.
and gay. Yeah. But that it's like a very minor inconvenience because was it Riff who was doing the with the boombox? He had the boombox.
Oh yeah, with playing the garage band loops on repeat.
The very small inconvenience of a man playing his radio and then her just standing up, and she's not even like screaming or whatever. Her just very being like you are just the rudest man. Like that's like it felt like that, but with totally different language.
And what I also realized, and this also made me quite angry, and I'm not sure why it was written and acted this way, but I'm also not surprised because this feels very true to life. When she says that to him, when Cindy says that to Riff, and he responds by saying fuck you, and he shoves a pie or whatever in her face, he's the one that gets reprimanded, and he's the one that's wrong. And Cindy doesn't get any kind of nothing, not a talking to, nothing. Lily is just like, Riff, how dare you?
Yeah. And you know that she knows that it's not an issue because when Angela is leading her away, she just keeps talking.
She says it again.
She just keeps being like, as if she has like a rat problem. It's like, you know, it's just so frustrating. And I wish, you know, the last one I think had more theme appropriate kills, whereas this one sometimes, like obviously the guy getting blown up with his own firecrackers, but her on the flagpole is like not really there's no and most I feel like of the deaths were like that, where they didn't actually have anything to do
With like camping?
with what their perceived sin was.
I see.
Or any kind of, you know, adjacent thing. Because, you know, I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, so Cindy's gonna get an elaborate death. But I was like, this is the choice for her death?
Yeah. Yeah, because the way that the way this is edited, I don't know if this is intentional, but it kind of puts Cindy front and center in terms of like people we pay attention to from the rich kids. And I mean, part of it is her problematic behavior, but I felt like she was going to be a bit more of a problem than she was. I mean, she was a huge fucking problem
for
us. But I thought that she was going to be like a bit more of a problem for Angela. But it, you know, and that ended up not being the case. And also you can tell that Cindy, this just popped in my head, so I have to say it. When they're doing that fucking trust exercise and she stops and she's like, time for a ciggy. That girl, that bitch is not a real smoker. She takes one hit and she drops it on the ground and steps on it. I'm like, any smoker knows that you would rather die than put out a cigarette that you just lit for a turtle. Fake behavior. Poser behavior.
Feels a little fake and gay.
Yep, feels a little fake and gay. But I did enjoy her read when they were asking, when fucking Lily's just like, what's your favorite movie? And she's like, I don't know, movies with good acting, like The Care Bears.
I wrote it down. Having her two movies that she mentions,
Yeah, what was the first one
being
again?
Care Bears and Gone with the Wind,
That's what it was. Gone
is
with the
the
Wind.
most waspy, bigoted, I'm so, like, pure girl culture that's actually, like, a huge bigot.
Like, huge cunt, yeah.
Was so, and then the guy being... movies that make America look really good.
Rambo 3. Great movie.
Rambo 3.
And then they reduced Riff down to just being stupid, where he's like, I like movies with tits and blood.
Yep. Although I will say there is some like slight interesting political stuff in there that they give Angela that is kind of like, I think about if it feels so weirdly like timely now in an unfortunate way, but when she's like, you don't look 17, you look much older, and she's like, the town I grew up in didn't have any fluoride in the water. And I was like, oh, what a line. Like, what a line. Like, yes, it's so good. It's such a stupid line, but it's so good. Or when the Tawny is like, you look crazy. And she just says massive drugs. How can you not love Angela?
I know.
She is so like nerdy, like dorky, like she really
is
trying to be like an
And
icon,
again,
and she's just so
you can tell
middle-aged woman coded.
she just like at the root of her character, she just wants to have a good time at summer camp.
She does.
And I think I definitely caught this more in this movie than I did in the previous movie, of just how emotionally attached she is to having a perfect summer camp experience. Like, we got a little bit of it before, but even with this, with the flashback fantasy, we do have another flashback in this one, everybody.
Thankfully, it's not quite Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 levels of like, oh my god, please
It's not the
stop.
same footage. It's red instead of blue, so that's a change.
So there's something.
And she has a massive blue, like, fucking county fair, like, a ribbon thing on her neck that says
Best
like,
bovine.
glitter #1.
Best in show.
But in that flashback, I did have a little bit of PTSD from the second one, where I'm like, oh my god, not again, not again, not again.
Yeah.
And it was almost at the exact same point too. It was
Yeah.
like 2/3 of the way in. I'm like, oh my god,
When
this is not happening again.
When it's starting to drag.
But when she said, she talks a little bit about just like, I've been abused, I've been bullied, and, misunderstood more times than I can count. But that's what's so great about camp, is just like, we can come here and just love each other. And I'm just like, okay, I see the shallow attempt at like, what this all is. It's just like, Angela does not want to kill these people. She just wants to have a good time, and they're getting in her way.
Yeah. Which makes me want to ask her, what's your ideal camper, Angela?
Herself.
Yes, but like, who would you not be killing? But
And
then
she
I guess we
also-
kind of get that because it's like Marcia and Molly.
She likes
were both
redheads.
Like, oh, yeah,
It's redheads.
She does.
Her perfect camper is a redhead.
Is a pure of heart redhead who says things like, Tony, are you in a gang?
Okay, let's talk about them, actually.
There was a moment that I was like, God, is this a fucking after school PSA? It's like, are you in a gang? Yeah, everyone where I'm from is. And the only way to get out of it is to move. And her fucking going, to their credit, showing her being like upper class and privileged, being like, well, you can always move. And being like, yeah, I guess. Like, why don't you just move?
I know, that's
Like-
why it's so clear that she is totally fetishizing and exoticizing him.
Yeah.
Are you in a gang?
Yeah. Oh, but I love
What?
because I don't know, because we always have like the kind of foils or mirrored pairs of like Angela and Paul, and then in the second one we have Molly and Sean, and they're kind of like an improvement on Angela and that situation. And then we have now Tony and Marcia, and oh my god, the fact that we have a man who asks for consent to kiss her. I felt crazy. I was
clocked
like,
that.
in my sleepaway camp? Consent
clocked that.
in my sleepaway camp?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like, okay, some sort of credit for making one of your stereotype underprivileged kids the one man in these movies so far. The one asking for consent. Crazy.
Very impressed. I was very happy with that. I think I found it interesting. I remember getting excited when I saw this too, because like at this point, we're so used to like girls that have sex being dead. And
they have sex and then they die.
Yeah, they have sex and then they die. And then Marcia, while they're just like making out, after Tony asks to kiss, she pulls out a condom and she's like, if we're gonna make love, at least wear this. And he's just like, I'm moving to Ohio.
Oh my God. I was like, and safe sex practices in my sleepaway camp 3? Unbelievable. I was like, okay. And suddenly someone on the team was like, guys, we gotta get somebody in here doing safe sex.
It's so wild too, because the movie just before this, probably filmed 2 weeks before this.
Yes.
We have you don't have AIDS or nothing, do you? And that's called growth. And that's called growth.
We grew. And even if that was only in 1 week of pre-production, we grew. But then also we have white boy, weird kinky white boy.
Yes.
What a strange character. It feels like we're getting to a point where we're running out of ideas for young teenage boys, because they go, this guy is kind of gonna be like Paul, where he's weirdly insistent with Angela, whereas he barely knows her, but also he's gonna have a weird kink about getting tied up.
Yeah.
And it will work for our kill later, but other than that
I actually am quite a big fan of this actor's performance in this character.
Oh yeah,
because the amount of closeted DL conservative men that I have accidentally hooked up with, or that have made passes at me.
Oh no.
So many of them behave like that. So many of them.
Okay, that's crazy
Like
perspective.
so like I was literally having like flashbacks, because of course, you know, like doing OnlyFans and shit like that, like I get shit all the time.
Chaser type
and
shit.
That particular brand of just like, I am very much into this and I'm very much into you, but you know, I have like this weird kind of like energy about it, because it's like, I never really get the chance to do this, and also like, you're not going to tell anybody, right? Because I'm going to be in politics when like everything.
Yeah, the line about I might lose an election one day is so like,
everything about his performance to me, it felt so deeply personal to like a certain brand of man that I unfortunately have to navigate frequently. So yes, confusing, not far from reality,
not poorly acted. Yeah, I didn't think I it felt very grounded in like the character. It's just his motivations, whatever they may have been, were like, oh, we're doing this again. We're doing another Angela I'm chasing, which
we're probably going to talk about the same thing. Go for it. Say it.
I was going to say I hadn't really thought about it in this way before, but I was going to bring up the fact that they don't talk about the trans thing at all in this one. She is Angela. She is a girl, and we never get the he/she thing. Even the fucking cop who's looking for her, is not doing the like.
He's respecting
transvestite. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no. And so then, if you add in that character, it makes it a chaser thing. Even if they don't talk about her being trans. If you've seen it from the beginning and you know, then you're like, oh, this does have a layer here of like specifically
that is exactly
you're the one he wants.
The brand of man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't talk about it, but there's like a small little like allusion to it when we have the synchronized titty party.
Right.
Where they have like, I swear they choreographed putting on those sweatshirts together. It was
so smooth.
Perfectly framed, double titties. And you know that the minute that scene starts, when you see Cindy in her lingerie leaning and waiting for the bathroom, you're like, oh, we are in Titty City. Time to resume the mayorship of Titty City, baby.
Angela.
But with Angela in there, she's wearing her very conservative undergarments, which, you know, if you've only seen Sleepaway Camp 3, that just reads as conservative.
Yeah.
But if you know the story, like, you know why she's so covered up.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Like, I think the parts of Bobby and Angela and their dynamic that is in between the lines for me is so fucking queer. So fucking queer.
Yeah, and this movie's always these movies have always kind of like danced around the edges of that, which I don't think it's completely unaware of with throwing around the F slur all the time. But yeah, there's really something. There's a numerous video essays by queer people who just, you know, you start to go crazy after a while that you see so many pieces of media that you start to put the pieces together and you start to feel like a conspiracy theorist until you realize that, since the dawn of media, there's been minorities and queer people specifically working on these things who, of course, it's going to be influenced by them, purposefully or not. And so you see all these like queer motifs and things, and as a queer person, you clock them and you're like, I feel crazy. How do I explain to this person that this movie is not just about a campy slasher at summer camp? You know what I mean? Like, it's actually got a ton of queer themes and is about, you know what I mean? It just feels... You feel crazy. At least I do. Like, every movie I go into, I'm like, please don't let this give me a fucking crisis, because I'm not going to know how to talk to it normally, talk to people about this normally.
You're right. And even just thinking about, like, the Hays Code and how James Whale was very intentional with how he coded certain things, because you couldn't show anything queer, homosexual, or whatnot in films back in the day. And I think he so masterfully, James Whale directed Frankenstein, everybody. He so masterfully found ways to bring that queerness on screen in a way that's like, if you're team and if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And that has, I think that tradition has very strongly carried through, necessary or not.
Yeah, there's just so many movies that you go into and you wonder, especially older movies where we don't have like director interviews, or they couldn't talk about certain things, where you're like, how much of this am I just putting onto it, or is like actually baked in there?
Yeah.
Because I see it. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
It's gotta be in there.
And you know what? I don't think it matters.
No.
You know, and we've had the conversation before about intent versus impact.
Yeah.
Of course, it's nice to know that something was intentionally built a certain way.
Yeah. Like, did you see the little article I sent you about the guy who played Buffalo Bill being like...
Oh, I don't think I read that yet. Oh,
yeah,
fuck. I was
it's
supposed to read that
an
before
article, I think, by them. And it was him being like...
He wishes that.
Yeah, that character, which is like, you know, it's complicated, and I think he turned that role out.
Yeah,
I think he did what, like, you know, he performed that role, but like, yeah, it was interesting to see that pop up because Silence of the Lambs is so much that version of intent versus how it's received, and we have so many different theories and feelings depending on who you are and your history and identity and all these things. So I saw that and I was like, oh.
Can we talk about Lily's death with like the garbage and the lawnmower? That's of all of the kills in this movie, that's the one where I'm just like, I need to know what was going through Bowie's mind when they watched this scene. That was the number one where I'm like, Bowie, please tell me. Please tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was eating that up because, I mean, it was giving me, not to keep bringing up Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
Garbage day.
Garbage day.
It's
like a lot of things went through my head at once, and a lot of them were like other horror movies. So it was like Garbage Day, and then I also had the like, I love Sinister, because I see a lawnmower now and I go,
yeah.
I'm like,
one of the best
physically triggered.
Oh,
that
so
movie.
good.
There's a reason why it keeps popping up on lists of like scariest movies based on polls of like thousands of people.
Because it's fucking scary.
It's so upsetting. And yeah, her fucking getting tossed into that trash. It was also giving me that the outhouse kill. It was very much like
the drawn out.
Yes,
Yeah.
and from garbage you have come, and to garbage you will return. Because her talking about all this stuff about like the money and how
burying the garbage because it costs so much money to do waste disposal.
Angela speaking up for the waste disposal workers of the world and going, it's really not that expensive, girl.
Listen, Angela is kind of a woke warrior.
She's like, dark woke.
She's dark woke,
Yeah.
100%. Because it's like every now and then she kills somebody for something. I'm like, Angela, that was overreacting. And then every now and then she'll just be like, and you're a dirty bigot. And I'm like, you know what? You
know what?
Yeah.
Go on. And like, I love a falling in backwards with the legs out, but then even better when it's just the head, when it's just the head sticking out. And again, I thought, just like with the flagpole, I thought she was going to leave her. And then I love a shot where it's blurry to start with and it's in the back. And so you just see her like Looney Tunes pushing this giant mower into frame.
Yep.
Everything about it was perfect.
It was so good.
I loved it. I loved it so much. And I'm like, okay, how are they going to do this? And her just like picking it up
and just dropping it on her head.
Like, damn.
Here's what I loved about this death scene. It was so fucking campy because she very clearly, very easily could have just gotten up and walked out of that trash pile.
Sure could have.
But she was just lying there, screaming her head off. And I wrote down the line that had me cracking up because before she gets thrown into the garbage pit, she was talking about like going on this cruise and like that's why they're not spending all this money because her and Herman are supposed to go on a cruise. And Angela's like, did you buy a ticket yet? And she's like, no. And then that's when she gets thrown in the pile. And as she's screaming and as Angela's slowly but surely like burying, piling dirt on this woman in the trash, you hear her scream. I wrote it down.
Yep.
You hear her scream, I changed my mind. I bought the ticket and you can go with us. And I need to know if that has to be improv, right?
What's so good about it is I couldn't tell if it was one of those lines that was actually said in the scene or like ADR'd after. Oh. Because it is so like, you don't really see her saying it. It's like kind of blurry and and
it's like all you see is Angela digging the dirt.
There's something so good about it where there are these moments in Sleepaway Camp in all the movies that kind of make them worth a watch, if not a repeat watch, is these little moments where it's like pure camp. Like you get the camp. And that was one of them. I was
this
like,
scene is it, yes.
Because if you weren't paying attention or you were talking to someone over, you wouldn't hear it. And that's a shame. Because
big old shame.
Her just, you can come with us.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Mind. I bought the tickets. You can come with us.
So good. Things like that. And also like, for instance, Herman fucking stumbling out of the tent and being like, come on, my old lady doesn't give it to me anymore. It's just random one-off lines.
He's wearing his
like,
long johns, getting just like smacked. Well, and that's another one that goes on so long, like with the fucking thunk, thunk, thunk. And then I love when we cut into the tent with Jan, and she's like, Herman, what's going on out there? But you clearly see the shadow of these two figures, and one is beating the other one with the stump. She's like, what's going on?
In the shittiest little tents you've ever seen in your life. A little pop tent, a little Cub Scout situation. So fucking, yeah. That's another thing that Sleepaway Camp does sometimes that I adore and I think makes the camp, when it is campy, is the shots that are really long for no reason. So I think the first one that we got is during the fucking boating accident in the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Where she's like screaming and instead of it being like, ah, and then cutting, it just, ah,
it goes.
And I'm like, you know what? Actually, I eat this up.
And then like the baseball game.
Yes.
Very long.
Very long.
Very long.
And then you have, I know I said the log beating scenes are played out, but when you watch her just run after this old man tripping on his fucking pants. Dunk, 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 dunk. It's so good.
It's just so matter
good.
of a fact. There's
Yeah.
no style to it. There's no
No.
pizzazz. It's just matter of a fact, wide angle, just watching it happen.
Looney Tunes type shit.
Yeah.
I feel like in the background I expect it to be like
Exactly.
like everybody just like with her in the tent, like, what's going on? What's going on? That whole thing gave me the ick.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
the
oh, we
relationship
have
between
enough-
those two. Thank you.
I was like, oh, this is another Mel situation. And then we moved off into the stratosphere.
And I can't believe, like, I was trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out his game, right? Because, like I said, he's a fucking leprechaun, everybody. Like, this
not a
man
human
is
being.
not really fuckable. And so, the entire time...
Hey, we gotta pause on that. It's so true. Just that one idea, he is not fuckable. Interpret that however you will. But there is no better way of describing him.
Yeah.
Unfuckable.
Yet with a Playboy bunny belt buckle. And that's how
That
he
won't
got
stop touching.
He like kept shaking it in Jan's face
Bruh.
during like the opening ceremony or whatever the fuck it is. And he's like, Jan, you could do so much better.
Girl, you could have anybody in that camp.
No, she could.
I was like, is he giving her money? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, like it was the same kind of thing where it's just like with Mel and Meg, where it's like, how did he pull her? But significantly more disgusting.
Yeah. And when
Katie.
Angela tells her, you know, your husband sleeps around. Just a little dig.
Because, you know, Angela's petty. And I love that. She's Petty Crocker, baby.
She's like, I can't have you, Petty Crocker.
Petty Crocker.
I can't have you going to your death not knowing.
Not knowing. So
Your
I'm going to do
husband's-
you a favor and let you know.
Oh.
Your man, he ain't loyal.
With like 17-year-olds even.
Yeah.
Worse.
It's just, it's disgusting. It's like, it's so, it's so cringy too. So watching him try to fuck is so uncomfortable.
It's like imagining someone trying to fuck one of the 7 dwarves.
Yeah, or like the fucking Lucky Charms
Yes!
mascot, or
The vibes, I
a
don't
Keebler
know.
elf, you know?
Yeah. Not just in a vibes sense. It feels like a being that would be interfered with if you were to engage with them in that way. It's
Yeah.
irresponsible.
Yeah,
It's irresponsible.
it is.
Like
And-
the Michelin Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
We're just, yeah, and we're gonna leave it at that, everybody.
Yeah.
That's Herman and Jan.
we'll leave it at that.
I did enjoy, overall though, I feel like this movie was like way more balanced in terms of like the action and how Angela like moved throughout the space. Thankfully, we didn't like go into. There were like a couple of chase scenes. There was one in particular, the one with Marcia after she finds Lily's decapitated body. Where I'm just like, oh god.
And we gotta like someone explain to me the laziness of the end of that scene where the whole setup is confusing.
Yes,
So
thank
did
you.
she fall down and hurt herself on purpose? Because at first I was like, oh, she's faking it. And then
Because
you
she-
see
yeah.
that her ankle is bruised.
Yeah.
And then she's limping the
Uh-huh.
rest of the film. So you're like, okay, so she hurt herself on purpose to get them alone. But then after she's like, does the big reveal of the dead body, and then he comes back in what cop university did this man graduate from? Because the way he walks in and is like, Angela. And then he just stands there. And first of all, she's got her hands behind her back. I'm sorry. You're a police officer.
Uh-huh.
You see a woman who has now killed 30 some odd people. And you don't immediately try to subdue her.
Yeah. Exactly.
Did he want to die? It was kind of giving me like, I have nothing left to live for. Just
Also,
fucking do it.
I mean, his wife did leave him for a foot doctor, and his son was killed.
A real
by-
bummer.
I love too how it's so stupid. It's very like I see the script being written here when he's like, "So how you gonna kill me? Battery acid, leeches, a drill."
was like, how long is this going to go on?
Are you going to cut my head off? Like,
Every
he literally,
single one.
He recaps the kill count from the previous movie.
Are you going to barbecue me and then say some line about don't do drug? Like,
and
okay.
then I just love how her response is like, no, with a gun.
A gun. It was giving the drill.
It was giving the
drill.
Yeah.
A gun. Because it was mirroring like, what are you reaching for back there? A gun? No. A drill. And she just shoots him.
He just let her do it.
And he dies. And there's kind of like this vibe to Angela that almost looks like she's like, is he really not gonna like try to stop me? And if he's a cop, where's his gun? Like, which like, listen, I'm not advocating for that, but you're telling me a man who's kind of here on official business, but really here because of revenge.
Because he wants to fucking kill a bitch.
Because he wants to kill a bitch. Isn't armed in any way?
Yeah.
What is happening? He's just dead.
I thought he was going to be a bigger problem too.
Yeah.
I thought him and Cindy were going to be the big problems of this movie.
Yeah.
But it was kind of anticlimactic. His whole death, unfortunately. Except for that, I do love a gun. And I do like that shot of her.
Yes, very good.
Like, straight into camera.
Classic Angela.
But if I can talk, I don't like how she gets the gun.
Yeah.
That whole... Okay, so remember how I said that there's, like, some kills... That there was... There's one kill specifically where, with this character, I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
And that's Riff. With the tent spikes. Because I'm like, that... without a doubt has happened in the real world.
Yeah.
To black people. To more than one.
Yeah.
That one was particularly tough.
Also, never mind the fact that he almost every time we see him, he like whips out the gun or a knife.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah.
I don't know about that.
He's definitely the most irresponsibly portrayed character in this film.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. It's very, very unfortunate because I do think that with his character being handled in a more respectful way,
which is weird because it's not even a good kill. You know what I mean? We have plenty of good Sleepaway Camp kills in the storytelling realm of like, why did curling iron? How did you think of that? It's not one of those unique, interesting. It's only slightly more improved upon a log.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, so it is brutal, but not fun.
But you know what? I have an asterisk to this though. Angela, this queen, this stunt queen. Can we talk about how she just throws a tape cassette in there, and it's just her rapping about how she's gonna fucking kill him.
This was yet another moment that I wrote in my notes where I said, listen, I know literally on the podcast not too long ago, I said we got to bring back funny raps in horror movies.
That's not what I meant.
That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. Angela, Eminem's weird niece, like coming in here, like trying to get in, and her like clapping the beat.
Yeah.
In the back.
It got me though. I'm not gonna lie. Because I just imagine
the cut scene.
Well, I'm just, it's similar to like, okay, a little backstory. Whenever I watch a horror movie, right, and the horror movie villain is like hiding, I always, when I see that happen, when I see the killer like jump out of or whatever, I think about the moment off camera with the killer like tiptoeing. I think of the same thing. I'm like, when did Angela record this? I'm like, I'm so stuck on the extra effort that she went through for this gag.
Yeah, for the
and
bit.
I'm like, Mama,
for the vine.
Angela might have a career as a drag queen.
It's got to be a spectacle. And we should have known that with the curling iron.
That's true. The curling iron was the first of it all. Yeah.
And truly, the audacity with the garbage truck. She didn't have any fear that anybody would watch her.
No, I was wondering. I'm like, is nobody in the city responding to this? Like a teenage girl getting chased down with a garbage truck?
Not one.
No one checked up?
Not one.
Nope. And then
and that's what happens when you're underprivileged.
That is, nobody cares. Well, you know what?
The garbage truck is driving down an empty street, a city with empty streets. with a woman, a child screaming, following her into an alley. Gotham City type shit.
Very much so.
like she, you know
Very
what?
much so.
Actually, I think Angela would be a perfect Batman villain because every Batman villain is so draggy.
Yeah, that's
Every
true.
Batman villain is so, which is so funny because Batman is so like, I'm Batman, you know, very broody, very straightforward. And then you have fucking villains like Calendar Man.
Calendar Man.
He literally kills by dates on the calendar.
That's fine.
He's like, Calendar Man. And then you have the Riddler.
Of course.
Riddle me this, Batman.
Yeah,
and then
riddle
the
me
Joker,
this.
who is... he didn't have to do
Absolute
all that.
bonkers, yeah.
He didn't have to do all that. And Harley Quinn, like, she would fit in as a Batman villain.
She really would. What would her Batman villain name be?
I guess
I
it
guess
has
the
to be Angel of Death.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it would be Angela of Death.
Angela Death.
Yeah.
Angela
Death. Yeah.
Angela F. Death.
No one's ever pronouncing it right, and she's so pissed.
And that's half of the reason why she kills them.
She's always wearing like a Dare t-shirt.
Oh, no.
I think these movies did more to help the quote unquote war on drugs than Dare ever did.
That's true. That's very true. You're a drug
Say
taker.
no to drugs.
You're a drug taker. I also just
You're
love
nice.
all of the extra effort that she goes through at the end with like the little camp activity where she's like, Marcia's in one of these cabins. You better go find her.
It brought me back to one of my favorite parts of the second one, which was the cabin of dead bodies.
Yeah.
She's like, we're gonna have fun.
Yeah, everything's on display, everybody. Come check it out. But you have
Oh
2
my
minutes to
God.
find Marcia, otherwise she's dead.
If you run away, I kill you. If you hurt me, I kill you. She's so...
As she's tying them up, it's under the guise of just like, yeah, Barney says we're doing another trust activity. And they're like, where is Barney? She's like, I don't know. Wait, is that him? No, I don't think so. Wait, is that him over there? No. Oh, wait, there he is. Fucking cuts him down from the tree. Bitch.
Great of you to drop in.
Ugh.
Girl, what is this, Clue?
can't.
Like,
I
what do you
can't.
mean? What do you mean? How is she doing all this without anybody seeing
I
her?
don't know, but I'm eating it up.
I know.
I do love that whole sequence, though, the ending sequence.
Yeah.
Got me a little bit locked back in. Except, I mean, the 2 axes in the chest were kind of lame.
Yeah, lame.
That's some jigsaw shit. That's some, like, predicting human behavior, knowing exactly where they're going to be, exactly who you're going to kill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sort of like muddying your ethos. It's like, I thought you said that you were gonna let them go.
Yeah. Although I love how she's like, but these 2 are kind of boring if you ask me. Which, I mean, honestly, kind of fair because I forgot that they both were in this movie.
Yeah.
But that's also because
think
they
they might
weren't-
have, too.
They weren't really given that much screen time.
No. We had quite a few characters,
Yeah.
and then I would forget. Because they
didn't-
were separated
I was
into...
going to say, it didn't help that they were all split into 3 groups. You know what? I want to spend a moment just to talk about we get a little final girl subversion in this movie, I think. It's not our typical final girl, but this bitch, not only does she fuck, but she cheats on her boyfriend.
Why was that in there?
I'm very curious as well. Yeah, why?
Well said.
Why was that a choice? I don't hate it, actually. But what I do hate is I hate that it makes me not like Marcia
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
And I don't want to not like the final girl. Maybe Tony is our final girl. Tony's our final girl. He's pretty. Yeah. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, apart from just why?
I had the same thing where I was like, how dare you do this to me and to her? Because I don't know. Like, part of me was like, are they doing this to be like, oh, Angela never should have let her go because actually she's a huge slut.
That's what I'm wondering.
Cheats
yeah.
on her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so it's supposed to be like, nobody's perfect. And like her logic is flawed anyway, because she was like, I'm only letting them live because they're pure
They're
of heart.
nice.
They don't
Yeah.
do anything wrong. But it's so sudden and so random. And then it immediately ends, and I'm just like, I don't know what
Yeah.
this is meant to do.
I think for me, it puts the final stamp on, oh, all of these rich kids fucking suck. You know, part of me wonders, I'm like, oh, is that a little bit of a commentary of just like, damn, even the rich girl that we thought was going to be virtuous and like treat this kid with respect, even though she was totally fetishizing the fact that he was in a gang.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of like, oh no, like all of these rich kids fucking suck. Mm-hmm. And this is just how she sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. It again, it's one of those things where it's like, we keep going back and forth in and out of the point of the film. Is there one? Are we trying to actually talk about, I don't know,
no, or are we just trying
underprivileged communities?
Are we just trying to do something a little bit different?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's like, I personally love the idea of having a final girl who doesn't fit that final girl mold. Mm-hmm. But I just don't think it was intentional enough for that.
No.
It's almost like they were trying to do what Cabin in the Woods did with their final girl, without actually doing what Cabin in the Woods did with their final girl.
Right.
What else do you have to say about this movie?
I did love the little callback to, like I said, it was already like he was a little callback to Paul, but when she told him to meet her at the cabin.
Yes.
I was like, oh, can we please get another naked decapitation moment? Mm-hmm. But of course, it had to be a different kill, but I did love that little moment because it made it feel like they knew.
They remembered.
Yeah, that they had another weirdo blonde that was chasing her back in the day. So I did appreciate that quite a bit.
Me too. All right.
Yeah.
Are you ready to move into our wrap-up segments?
Yes.
Let's start with our Boo review. How scary is the big bad of this movie? I feel like it's going to be the exact same like qualifiers that we've used for the past two of just like, oh, if we're talking about like the big bad is racism, it's terrible. Classism, terrible.
A caste system, terrible. Yeah, I wasn't, there really weren't any moments in this that because I told you, I didn't write down any themes because it weirdly felt inert in that way.
Yeah.
Like, there are political references, racism does happen, classism happens, and yet it didn't feel like any of those things. Like, Angela is not killing for those things.
No, they're
there.
Happening.
Yeah, they're just there.
It's like they just like salt bait it into the movie a little bit. Yeah,
exactly. So this one was very like not even the cursory amount of like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is
even in the second one when Angela fucking
with the outhouse
puts her in the outhouse,
yeah.
I was frightened, scared.
Yeah, there was nothing about this that no. What is your scariest or most uncomfortable moment of this movie?
So we talked about scariest and me not thinking anything was scary, but we both had several moments.
I threw /uncomfy because this movie is not scary.
Yeah.
So something that that I would try to avoid in my everyday life.
Yeah. Because it was uncomfortable in the way of like, some people like movies to be pure for them, that are pure escapism. Other people really like movies that they can relate to and feel like are happening or relevant. This was one of those movies that was like, it's not that I don't think that there should be very real problems that aren't happening in my horror movies. In fact, quite the opposite. But the casualness of the racism, bigotry, all of that, it does kind of get to you.
I wrote down, honestly, when Cindy drops the hard R. So we're in the same boat there.
Yeah, we are. Because it just hits you, but then it's also so casual.
Yeah, which is reflective of like so much right now, unfortunately.
It just feels like a garbage truck has run over you.
Yeah.
And you don't really know where it came from.
Yep.
Or when it's going to stop.
And before you get a chance to compose yourself and reorient yourself, it just fucking hits you again.
It hits you. It backs up.
A couple more times.
And drives over you again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad we're in agreement of that. Yeah. Do you think you could handle being in this movie?
First of all, I would be in the underprivileged group.
1000%. Me too.
Right? And the other movies, the kids were kind of interesting maybe to hang out with or, whatever. But even Angela, I wouldn't even really be able to hang out with Angela. In the other two movies, there was a certain level of hangout ability with Angela. Yeah. This one is like, she is not once ever like friendly almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no downtime for us to connect.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'd be either killed right away because she'd be like, something's
going on.
But the only thing that I could rely upon would be I'd have to leverage the trans card.
Yeah.
I have to be like, girl,
Yeah.
listen, I know more than you think I know. We have to stick together.
Yes. Honestly, fair. I think, what did I wrote down? I said, I do think I'd be safe. Because compared to the shitbags in this movie, I'm a delight. Mm-hmm. What I will
Just mind
say,
your business and catch those fish.
I would probably have joined Angela on her endeavors. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I almost got the vibe. Did you get this vibe? I almost got the vibe. For a second, I don't know why that Marcia was going to join her.
Yeah.
I don't know why. With Molly, I never got that feeling.
No.
There was a moment, I don't know, that I was like...
No, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Fascinating.
Are you ready for the Horny Hall of Fame? Mm-hmm. Who's the sexiest character?
It's probably a tie for me between Snowboy and Tony.
Oh, yeah, because
I like the vibe of Snowboy.
Yeah.
He's just like goofing off, and he's got this little punk vibe to him.
Like the bleached hair. He's definitely, he's like a dollar store Billy Idol.
Yeah, and he's kind of just like keeping to himself mostly.
Yeah.
And then Tony is everything you would want. Mm-hmm. And he fucking asked for consent. The bar is consent. So low.
Yep.
Me when I'm in a gang, but I know to ask for consent.
I know to ask for consent. So for me,
you can say Herman. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll support you.
Yes.
Unfuckable.
Nothing turns me on more than something that is unfuckable. Me and my lawnmower have a great...
We have a very intimate relationship.
Very intimate relationship. No, I actually kind of have... I have two runner-ups and then a winner.
Right.
My two runner-ups are Riff and Arab. I just think they're both...
I wanted more of Arab.
I wanted more of Arab
and Riff
too.
To be different.
I wanted Riff to be different, but just like... Mm-hmm. He's a very attractive man.
Vibes, yeah.
And then
the sweatshirt like, with then the cut off.
With the cut off, and very then like good. when he gets out of the tent, he's like stretching and like bopping to his music. I'm like, hold on.
He's a vibe. Yeah. Like, okay. He's a vibe.
Arab, there's some I can't say that name and take myself seriously.
I know.
I just love a bad girl.
Yeah.
And
bad girl.
I just loved like the teased hair and just like everything like her. I liked Arab, but
she deserved more.
I am also very much Team Tony. I mean, he's the beefcake. That's what he's there to do. He's there to be attractive and save people.
He was the closest I think we had to Gino.
He was.
Gino.
No one's ever going to outdo Gino.
No.
Let's be honest.
Sorry, guys.
What do you think is the hottest death of this movie?
Let me look back at my things. The kills were... like I said, they were half like really interesting and half just like...
Yeah, like honorable mention. I love the firework one, actually.
Yeah.
I thought that one was pretty cool. Do you want me to tell you mine?
Yes.
What I think the hottest death is?
Yes.
Funny enough, I think it's Bobby when he gets tied up and gets his arms ripped off of him. It is a little erotic.
True.
I also love how he's just like... Again, this is something that I've heard these closeted fucking ass men say to me. They're like, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Bruh.
And I love how he's like, so... when do we screw? I thought that was so fucking funny.
I just love when Angela's puttering around in the background and not responding when someone's talking to her. I would say the other one that I consider hot is just when she kills the girl that was with Herman. Because she has that moment where she's like, it's a good thing you're dead. In a few years, your breasts are going to start sagging like crazy.
Yep.
And I'm like, thank God we have weirdly queer-coded Angela back
for
a moment.
For a moment.
Because I love when queer Angela shows up for a moment.
Yeah, just like talking about tits.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
Just hefting up a naked lady. Yeah.
And here's the thing. I would also put like... Jan is also very attractive.
Yeah.
She's probably rounding out the top 5. No, you know what? She fucking likes Herman.
Yeah, but
points away from that.
She's kind of seems like she's being groomed a little bit there.
That's fair.
She's doomed by the narrative.
She is doomed by the narrative.
I fear.
How horny would you say this movie is?
Well, there's much less sex in this one, weirdly.
Yeah, there's there's nudity, but
It's not very titillating.
There's no sex.
Nudity. No. And the one like sexy part that we start to see, quote unquote, is Herman. And I was so like audibly gagging.
So turned off.
Oh,
actually.
I could not. And then I kept thinking about having to film that scene.
I know. I was thinking about that too.
Oh!
I was like, how impressive, first off, that we have this beautiful woman right here, and I'm unable to be in any way, shape, or form interested in, taking in the beauty of her figure.
And the part I had like a moment where I was like, what a beautiful shot this is of her boob. There was like a moment.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, what a beautiful shot of her face and her boob.
And then he comes in. And then he comes in.
And I literally, it was fucking Jaws. I said, you get your fucking face away from her beautiful boobs.
And then when they fucking, I see what they were trying to do here. I don't think they did it well. When they go to that close-up of her unzipping his fly, and then they go to Angela unzipping the tent. I don't think they did that well, but I was so uncomfortable when they were doing that. I'm like, girl.
I also loved that bit, but it also, again, was giving like weirdly vaginal for Angela.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, we're still doing, okay.
Okay.
We still have no idea what Angela's identity is happening.
Yeah.
Who's to
Angela's
say?
just a menace.
Yeah.
I love it.
Angela is unfuckable in the other way of like,
I'm scared.
She will not be fucked.
No, she will not.
You will not fuck her.
Absolutely not.
Unless she wants it.
I bet Angela would be an excellent dominatrix.
So true.
I feel like if we could rein her in,
yes,
I feel like she would be
use her powers for good. Yes,
dominatrix. Yes. I feel like people would come out of their sessions truly healed.
Yeah, her rope work is fantastic.
Yeah.
She knows
the banter. She's good at setting boundaries. All right. I hope that in the next 2 Sleepaway Camp movies, we get a little dominatrix Angela.
We're already getting there. I feel like we're so close.
We just need a high pony and some latex.
Judy
on
the boobs.
Oh, Judy.
I miss her.
Rest in peace. I miss her too.
Evil, but wasn't tossing around slurs.
I will also say, like, as much as like I had a good time watching this movie, I had 2/3 of a good time watching the second movie. Mm-hmm. Both of them still make me really miss the original.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever ached and yearned this much for the original before in a franchise. So I just have to put that out there.
I mean, it's unique. You can't do it again, especially because even if they wanted to, they can't, because obviously she has to grow up. And so we can't just keep doing.
That's how it works.
Yeah, it's like, and so, it's hard to recapture that lightning in a bottle.
I'm glad they got it, though, at least the once. Sleepaway Camp 3. Camp or cringe?
Cringe.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
With bursts of camp as a treat.
Yeah.
I would fear. We started with full camp.
Uh-huh.
We drifted into like, oh, we're getting shaky.
Yep.
And then this one was like, oh, girl, we're falling off the wagon.
Yeah.
It's not even like weird politics now. It's just like, hey, you want to put a line in the script? How about you?
Yeah.
How about your cousin?
What's something you always wanted to say to your mom?
Like, okay. But there,
Jesus.
Angela by herself as a character, great.
Yeah.
If you cut everything else out, great.
Wonderful.
But everything else around her, abysmal.
Agreed.
Mostly abysmal.
All right. What is your best dumb decision or your favorite stupid line of dialogue?
God, I mean, they're always during kills.
Yeah.
And so, mostly Angela, but love the garbage line about you can come with us. Mm-hmm. Just any of those one-liners are just so good. Her little one-liner to Cindy, long-winded one-liner.
Oh, because you're a cheerleader,
And
a
you're
fornicator,
nice.
a drug taker, a nasty bigot, but beside that, you're nice.
Yeah, just honestly, all of I have such a hard time picking because they're all so good.
That's true. I wrote down one. I actually think I'm going to change it, though.
Let me see if I
The one that I wrote down for, like, my favorite is from the lawnmower kill.
Yes.
It was the ticket line.
Yes.
I changed my mind. I bought the tickets. You can come. Because that literally, I was guffawing. Mm-hmm. But now that I think about it, I'm going to have to say my favorite thing is just, like, that first opening minute with Milkshake. With the, Ma, I'm going to camp. Ma,
Arguably-
today's the day I'm going to camp.
opening scene, ending scene, both the same tone
Yeah.
of like camp.
Just ridiculousness.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I think what really gets me is the milkshake tattooed on the titties. I know it's so trashy, but it's like one of my favorite things I've seen.
I just hope those are her real tattoos.
Me too.
Because otherwise it's less fun that it's like someone thought it up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's better being like,
I
I'm
hope
sorry.
that they, you know what I imagine is that like they're casting and they just like have a lineup of girls, almost like a fucking like, you know, like a
police
mugshot
line?
kind of thing. Yeah, a police
Yeah.
lineup. And they have them all take off their shirts and they're just like, you. What does that say? Milkshake?
You're in.
Come on, you're trashy enough to be.
You're in.
You look trashy enough to be an underprivileged child in my classist fucking film.
I will say the line that I hadn't mentioned that is probably one of my favorite lines is, thank God there'll be one less idiot in politics.
Yes, I
Very
love that
good.
too. Very good.
Very
Angela.
good,
Very
Angela.
good, Angela.
Very good.
More of that, please.
Please. Thank God.
All right, final question. How dumb is this movie?
In all senses of the word, it's very dumb.
Very.
Whether
dumb.
you mean politically, campy, production value, dumb.
Yeah,
Very
it's a
vapid.
stupid ass movie.
It's stupid.
Worth a watch.
Yes.
But you're going to lose some brain cells.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's slop. Peak slop.
It is.
I would say. Classic franchise type shit.
It's like exactly classic third film in a franchise when you derail so completely. You're starting to go off into the gutter.
We've truly lost the plot. Because it's like, you know, you've shot yourself in the foot. It's going to be the same person kills other people for 2 hours. You know, give or take.
Just like, how do we engage with that? And
yeah. And I think there's a reason that the past two have been like a tight 70 minutes because there just ain't much there to do. They're like, well, it's been a few minutes since we killed somebody.
Yep.
Better get Angela in on that.
I feel like the only way to go from here would be to turn Angela into the protagonist. Give her a foil. Give her somebody who's awful.
Arguably, also, send her to space.
Please. That is one of my favorite things from the late 80s and the early 90s. I have two phenomena in horror that I am so enamored of and I'm so tickled by. One, toxic waste as a plot device. I love...
We gotta bring it back.
We need to bring back toxic waste.
We do.
Just casually in like metropolitan areas, whatever the case may be. I've like obsessed with it.
Yes.
Two, horror franchises in space, baby. I fucking love.
Put 'em up there.
I love going to space.
Yeah.
Jason X. People can say whatever they want about Jason X. Have you seen Jason X yet? Yeah. Jason X, for me, massive success. I think I'm in the minority there, but
I will take it over Normie, like the first like 4. I will take it over Manhattan because that movie baffles me, but I guess they couldn't call it Jason on a ferry to Manhattan. They also couldn't call it Jason Goes for a Swim.
Nope.
He
does that all the time.
In the Hudson, like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. So I will take the space one because at least I'm like, yeah, he's got a career now. Yeah. Astronaut.
Yeah, he's an interplanar being. Well, that's the same
Why
thing.
not? Why not?
Jason Takes Manhattan, though, it does include toxic waste.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes. And it also, another one of my favorite tropes that we get, the vaguely
like the dream power,
telepathic dream power girl. Love that. We shouldn't get on this boat type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but
Oh,
more
I see what you mean.
whimsical than like Final
That's
Destination.
right.
You know what I mean?
Like when she's just like looking out the window and there's like a drowning child outside of it. It's like, oh,
Yes, that type of shit. I eat that.
That's true.
up. And people are like, "Why is that happening?" I'm like, "Don't tell me.
it doesn't matter.
I don't need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know."
They're just spicing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's infinitely more interesting.
It's
to
like,
me.
you know how sometimes you add paprika to your chicken? They added telekinetic powers to this.
Telekinetic powers are the paprika of horror films. Yes, so true.
Carrie versus Jason, baby.
So true. I think, I really do think it would have performed better if Schindler's List had put powers into their main character.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, dream powers.
Absolutely. Dream powers.
Dream powers. Schindler's List, Dream War. I only bring that back up because I mentioned it in the last one where you said
I can't believe you brought up
definition of a normal movie is Schindler's List. How do
Yep.
you take a normal movie and make it interesting?
Put some paprika on it.
Just a little bit of something. I don't know. Is
Yes.
it gonna hurt? And if not that, space.
Great.
Space.
First paprika, then space.
Then space. First comedy, then tragedy. First paprika, and then space.
Yes. Beautiful. Well, on that note, Bowie, where can our listeners find you?
I'm a pineapple under the sea.
Da, na, na.
On Instagram begrudgingly. I am technically on there. I think I've just been posting the occasional art that I've been doing. I don't know.
The self-portrait that you posted was lovely.
Thank you. Yeah, I do art. That's a thing I'm trying to do more of that does not involve my face or brain power beyond, just making something to make something.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's on my Instagram, and then the other place is my TikTok,
Beautiful.
which all my stuff is at knife_presenting. Like femme presenting or mass presenting, but a knife.
A knife.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you, dear sweet listeners, can follow me, CryBaby, at crying without the G _in_public on Instagram. And of course, give Horror Icon a follow. WHORROR Icon Pod. Next up is I didn't cue this up actually. It's the 4th installment. What's it called?
It's weird because the next one chronologically is Return to Sleepaway Camp.
That's right.
And then there's Sleepaway Camp 4.
So they're like doing
The
like
Survivor, I think it's called.
we will return to Sleepaway Camp with
sure
Return
will.
to Sleepaway Camp.
We sure will.
I know zero about that movie. Absolutely nothing.
No clue.
So cannot wait for that one. Until then, cuties, we're
Yeah.
ready for this ride. Don't be scared. Unless you're into that sort of thing.
Bye.